What's up, Cheddarpot Nation? It's your boy Cheese coming to you live from the Cheese Dome in Chicago, holding it down. I'm here with my two co-hosts, Cole and Clay. Say what up.
What's going on?
How y'all doing? I don't know how
We'll get better at
this
this.
is.
We'll get better at this. They're at Cheddarpot headquarters in Minneapolis, Minnesota right now. And this is episode 2. We just spent a good amount of time making sure we got everything ready to go to sound good. So hopefully we're not too flustered after that. I'm also hoodie cheese right now in honor of the playoffs. So I'm locked in. It's actually kind of hot, so I'm going to take it off now.
He's
is he wearing the NBA Paints Timberwolves hat?
Ooh. Wait, hold on.
That's right.
We do need to talk about this, though. I got the fit on as well.
Yeah, we're all wolved up.
I got Air Crunch and Chomper. I'm obsessed.
Shirt.
Absolutely obsessed with the boys over here.
Got one of the T-shirts they advertised at Ant's 51-point game. Picked up.
Yep.
That's actually the coolest thing about that shirt you can say.
Pretty fire.
I got this the same night. Ant
His
got
career
first
high.
50
Yeah,
piece,
his 50-piece with 50 Cent in the...
I don't
saw him
care.
that night, too.
I do care.
50-50.
It's awesome. But mine, I've talked about this before. If I could pay Air Crunch and Chomper to dance in my backyard, I'd find any way to do it. Honest to God, that'd be incredible.
Hire them for your birthday party next
How
year.
much do you think they would cost?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wish your birthday didn't just happen.
Yeah.
They probably have like a decent hourly rate.
Yeah, but I think we should find a way to make it happen. Anyway.
I think so. Maybe for our 100th anniversary, or excuse me, our 100th episode. 100 years of Cheddarpot. Man, well, how have you guys been in the week that we last talked? Obviously, a lot's happened. 3 whole Wolves games have been played. The Twins are winning again. The draft happened.
We'll get to the Twins. They played the worst team in baseball, but
we swept the worst team in baseball.
we swept the worst team in baseball
at home.
You know,
our own home.
We did it. I want to live. You know, but I've been good, man. We've just been kicking it, enjoying the festivities here. I actually went to the draft party. I gotta plug my sister. She made the cheerleading squad for the Minnesota Vikings. So
shout out Kate Burrell.
Extremely hyped up right now about that. But
yeah, we're a serious podcast. One of our hosts is related to a cheerleader for the Vikings, so we're not just like some scrubs. Like, we have connections.
Yeah, we have serious connections.
She's
now.
actually
we got
she's gonna get back to us on all the new Vikings updates.
We'll have her on the podcast before her husband. Before Jake.
It'd be funny if we got Kate on here and never got Jake on here.
So
that would actually be so funny.
For those listening, Jake's a good buddy of ours, very, very close friend. But he really
brother-in-law too.
And your brother-in-law.
Yes,
yeah.
but he wants to be on the podcast so bad. And what if we just got Kate and never Jake?
I was gonna say, which means he probably won't.
Who would be? If we did that to anyone else, it wouldn't be funny, but to him, it would crack me the fuck up.
Anyway,
of course.
Out of love.
Yeah, plowing ahead. So I went there and it was awesome. JJ McCarthy, Dallas Turner, that was the most electric time. I went with my dad, who ended up getting us in there, which was awesome, obviously, to watch Kate, but then we just enjoyed the festivities, right? So, gotten a bunch of videos for the Vikings, which is kind of sick. That was kind of fun. Didn't expect that.
That was sick. That was really cool.
But besides that, that's kind of the only thing that's happened since, besides a few Wolves wins, Wolves in 3.
3-0. Yeah, Cole, what about you? How are you feeling right now? How are you feeling about everything?
I feel terrific. When we last spoke, it would have been when I gave the very classic Minnesota sports fan answer, where I'm like, I'm just happy. If they win, they win. If they, essentially trying to guard my heart from any kind of optimism or enjoyment. And now we're sitting here. We're 3-0 in the series with the Timberwolves, which is incredibly exciting. The Vikings had a very, very large W with the draft. I don't know. It's just weird. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, So, but very exciting. And obviously, I know I sent you guys last night. I hadn't heard for basketball what the record was for teams that are down 3-0 in a series. No team's ever done it. Come back from a 3-0.
No team's ever done it, yeah.
Which let me
It
down.
almost happened
dude.
last year. It
Yeah.
almost happened last year with the Heat and the Celtics in the Eastern Finals. So this is obviously, the stakes are much lower, but it's a good spot to be in for sure.
It is, yeah.
And we've also never experienced a 3-0 lead in the playoffs.
No,
as
never.
a franchise. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Are the
very
Wol-
exciting stuff.
Yeah, are the Wolves back, guys?
Wolves back.
Wolves
I think the Wolves are back. Yeah, as you can see, my light behind me, I have it lit Aurora green to reflect the tenacity and urgency that the Timberwolves are playing with in this playoff series. Those are, oh my God, I love my boys. I wish I could paint my body Aurora green and go to a game. Little wolf costume on top of it.
Air crunch, baby.
I'm green-red colorblind. I didn't even notice that was the color of your light.
Are you really?
Yeah. A little bit, yeah. A little bit. It's called moderate Dutton, I guess. I don't know. It just, when I was a kid, I'd have
She
to.
doesn't buy it.
Yeah, he did.
You're just making up words.
I'm just making shit up. No, when I was a kid, I had to go to my mom to ask her what color the battery light on my Game Boy was. So
That's kind of wild. I have a friend I play pickup with who's like insanely colorblind.
not that bad.
Yeah, no, he's like to the point where like he'll be like, "Yeah, that guy over there in the red shorts." I'm like, "There's no one here wearing red shorts, dude. What are you talking about?" So I sympathize with you a little bit.
Well, no, it has absolutely affected me 0% of my life, so it's okay.
Until you watch a sports game where it's red versus green, okay?
Yeah, apparently.
And what do the Wild jerseys look like to you?
Well, it's not, okay, like I said, it's not that bad. It's not like I don't know what the color of a stop sign is or whatever. It's just a
Thank God.
tiny little things. Like
you just drove us earlier.
Yeah,
so
I know, I was going to say.
I was going to say, those are two important colors when it comes to driving.
No,
I'm just
yeah.
realizing, yeah.
It's mainly lights and things like that, but not stop lights. Some lights. I don't know.
Those
Whatever.
are
Who cares?
those are lights, though, so.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Anyway.
Sorry, bud. Okay. Well, okay. Now that we were past the familiarities, whatever. Not that we need it because we've been on FaceTime for like an hour now.
Sorry.
And it's okay. Listen, it's good. It was a good warm up for us. But with all that happening, I guess I would like to start talking about the draft because it's been something that's been literally weighing on us for like 5 months.
Oh my God, dude.
I mean, since the playoffs, even before the playoffs started, I feel like for Vikings fans, we've just been like, all right, season's over, draft. What's going to happen? Is Kirk staying? Quarterback. We know where Kirk is. We know who we drafted. It's over. Actually, I'm pretty sure the draft is finishing up right now, like round 7. Or they're already probably done.
Yeah.
So our draft is over. What are we thinking? Clay, let's start with you as someone who was at the draft party and got to experience that energy.
Okay. Dude, I mean, so as we all know, or I don't know if I mentioned this in the last podcast, actually, I can't really remember, but I was, actually I did. Yeah, I said cock to penis, right? So I was very much, I really wanted Michael Penis Jr. That honest to God, I think, I'm serious. Don't laugh at me.
No, I'm laughing because that ended up, that's its own other thing.
Yeah, anyway.
So I'm laughing because you said Michael Penis.
Yes, but no, he's honest. I thought, for some reason, I had a gut feeling he was going to be really good, but then he got taken number 7 or 8? Number 8 to the Falcons.
Eighth.
Which I really didn't even know if he was going to be a first-round pick. I didn't realize people were buying into him that much.
Oh, my God. Well, I knew he was be a first round, but I thought he'd be like number, 13 to the Broncos or to the Raiders or whatever. But oh, my gosh, dude. So I'm standing in line waiting to get a pretzel. Pretzel I never got.
As one does.
Never got that pretzel.
Oh, no.
Never got that pretzel.
Say it is.
It's because what happens, I mean, because at the beginning, the picks take like 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden, you start getting to 5, 6, 7, and pick is in. And then when the Falcons drafted Penix, I almost said penis again, everybody was freaking out. The entire stadium, like a massive crow.
I can only imagine.
Just like that.
Wait, what did they say again?
You heard it. I don't need to do it again. and then after that, you got the next few picks, and when we traded up, everybody started kind of losing their minds a little bit. I moved probably 3 spots in the pretzel line at that point. And then when we traded up, I sprinted the entirety of the field weaving through people like I'm, Adrian Peterson, trying to find my dad and my brother-in-law, Jake. And then I got there just in time, like 2 minutes before we ended up picking. And we all knew who was going to be at that point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was either Bo Nix or JJ, but I was at the time I was like, wait, why did we trade up? But then it made sense because you have the Raiders and the Broncos who were also probably trying to do the exact same thing to jump us to get JJ, and
Allegedly.
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited about it. I think JJ is going to be awesome just because he has some of the best weapons in the NFL. It's going to be really hard for a quarterback to not succeed in that offense. So
Yeah.
Facts. Absolute facts. And JJ was like elated to be a Viking. I think they posted those videos about the call between KOC and JJ, and he said like I would have waited all 2.5 however many days for the call from them. So like you could tell he wanted to go there. According to him, like a lot of the quarterbacks in that draft class really wanted to go there. So it's not only exciting to have potentially the quarterback of our future, but someone who's just like so excited to be in Minnesota, which, I feel like typically in like society, you don't think about Minnesota being like a destination. But like our sports franchises have turned our state into like a must be place in like with the facilities and just the way we're building these teams. So that's awesome to see. I'm glad like JJ's pumped about it because we are too. Cole, what are you thinking? What are your vibes right now?
Yeah, no, very much echoing what both of you have said. It's a W. It's a great draft. I mean, I like the patience. I know a lot of teams, analysts, mock drafts, everything puts everyone everywhere, right? Oh, they're going to move up 10 spots. But I really like the patience. We just kind of sat there and we waited for the first handful of picks and we wanted to see where everything ended up. And then, we kept going and going and going. And I kept thinking we were going to trade it, at first at 3 for May and we didn't. And I was like, okay. And then I thought at 5 we would trade, but we didn't. And then it makes sense. The Jets are on the clock. They're a pick ahead of us. They know that we desperately want to get a quarterback. And with Penix being chosen, obviously the caliber of the remaining quarterbacks is no longer there. So, of course, they're going to call us and they're going to say, hey, you know what? We're going to, whether they're bluffing or not, when they say we want a 4th and a 5th, we're going to go, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Because we just want to make sure we can secure that. So I'm happy with that pick. Any drafted QB can succeed or could completely fail. And that's just kind of the nature of it, right? It's a completely different game. I was literally watching a clip of Derrick Henry talking about his experience in college versus the NFL. And he's like, it's completely different. And then the guy he was talking with tried to like say something else. And he's like, no, it's a whole different world. So we'll see what happens. Very stoked though. I think JJ, obviously he's won. That's something.
He's a winner.
That's something that we want. So, and then taking Dallas is just awesome. I mean, that's a really, really great pick. And I think a lot of people were shocked that he got to where he did in the draft and that we just kind of stars aligned and we got him. So.
And I do want to touch on that, but first, did it kind of feel like the Falcons took that pick just to kind of screw everybody over? Did anybody get that vibe at all? Maybe right away. Now that I think about it, no, but it was like, okay, what are we doing here?
Part of me feels like there's like an element to it of like the GM sort of making this decision irrationally. I don't think it was like an attempt to like piss people off, but I do think that I feel like they did not actually consider the impact of the decision and how it would like look at all, because it was just I don't know. We can get into this later after we talk about the Vikings, but it just like really looks bad. We'll see if it works out for them, but it just looks so bad.
It's an odd choice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Jordan Love looked bad when he was drafted. So
yeah, that was not a good look, but I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. It could certainly work out.
We'll talk about it later.
That Packer team was already winning, though.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers was already on the way out too. Right. They didn't just sign him to a 4-year extension.
Yeah,
that's what I'm. Yeah.
The thing I've kept hearing from everyone is, the Falcons, instead of taking an impact player, they're hedging their bet. If Kirk doesn't work out, they have a backup. If Penix doesn't work out, they have Kirk. I mean, I get it. They want consistency at quarterback, but here's the difference. They haven't won. I mean, like, it's not like they had this incredible, depth-driven team that's, solid on defense and is getting their offense onto the field when they need. No, they had 7 wins last year and 7, I think, the year before. I mean, they've had 21 in the last 3 years. Yeah. So it's just an odd choice. I get why they did it. They're going to be safe at quarterback. They will be safe at quarterback for the next 4 or 5 years, I would imagine, unless they both flounder, which is just, sometimes that happens. That's just sports. But
can't wait till Michael Pena starts playing at the age of 29.
Yeah, dude.
It's going to be sick.
Yeah, they drafted the oldest quarterback in the draft, too, which is
there's a lot of things that just don't make sense about it. But let's focus on the Vikings right now.
Yes.
I was in a weird scenario where I my second job, I'm like, I'll pick up a shift this Thursday night. Totally forgot it was the draft. And so I was out umpiring some softball. Such a good time out on a great park in Chicago. Beautiful night. It was unfortunate though because I was so goddamn busy. I literally could not look at my phone. I had no idea what was going on.
Cheese was yelling at the student athletes, "Move! I can't be at the draft. I'm taking it out on you."
Hell no, dude. I was so respectful. Everybody loved me. Okay. It was my first time umpiring because I'm a referee usually for hoops. So
yeah, that's right. I never heard you doing that.
It was fun. No, it's cool because everyone's actually having a good time and drinking. Whereas basketball, it's so high intensity and these people, especially the rec level, they're not very good, so they just get really mad at everything and blame the refs. So I digress. The softball was fun, but I was just out there kind of oh fuck, what's gonna happen? And then I pulled out my phone, and it had been a minute or two after it happened. But when I saw Drake May got drafted by the Patriots, I was just kind of fuck, shit. I don't know what we're gonna do, but I don't think I'm gonna be happy about it. Drake May's off the board. That's who I wanted. I don't know exactly if it was a good decision for New England, really, but I don't care. We'll see how that plays out. Fuck them. That they're in the AFC anyways, so I don't care.
He's gonna be miserable there.
Yeah, and I'm sure he probably will be, but whether he's good or not, it really has no impact on us as an NFC team. So
true,
that's
very true.
Sort of good, but so it got down to it, and I was maybe we'll trade up for JJ. And then the next time I looked at my phone, it was right after Penix got picked, and I was right at the end of a game. Another game was about to start, and I was just kind of in shock. I had no no part of me thought that was going to happen because, you were saying, perfect opportunity to grab maybe the best defensive player in the draft, Dallas Turner, right there before anyone else does, but didn't happen. So then I obviously I'm not really able to see what's happening, and then I get another notification saying the Vikings have drafted JJ McCarthy, and I was super hyped about it. Saw that we traded up 1, gave away 2 picks. Whoop-de-doo. I think it was worth it.
They're late picks too.
Was that?
I said they're late picks too. I mean,
and they're late picks.
Sometimes you get depth there, but yeah.
So if you're gonna sacrifice stuff, that seems like a good thing to do. So I'm already pretty hyped. But then later on, I see that we get Dallas Turner. I was truly geeking, out on the softball field, kicking my little feet. I wanted to get down in the dirt and make a little snow angel. I was just so fucking hyped. Because I was I know we got 23rd, but there's no way we're gonna be able to get anyone that's at the top of the board, right? We got, in a lot of people's opinions and mine, the best defensive player in the draft. Obviously, there was a couple defensive players taken before him, but I think that was because those teams needed those things more than an edge rusher.
Yeah, a D tackle or whatever it might be.
Right. So, yeah, exactly. And then somehow Dallas falls to us in our Brian Flores defense with our just dog mentality defensive scheme, and it's just to know we have probably our quarterback of the future who's going to a great situation, a situation that I could compare to Brock Purdy, right? Just a perfect situation where he can thrive quickly, and we also got somebody we can build a defense around, a Danielle Hunter-esque edge rusher.
He's a replacement in my mind for Danielle Hunter.
You look at that, right? We lost D Hunt, we lost Kirk.
Yeah.
Replaced them both with our first 2 picks.
More
and literally
than that.
saved $100 million doing that.
Dude, we've done more than that. I was having this conversation at the draft party. Somebody said we just replaced Danielle Hunter. I'm wait, but what about Greenard? Or Greenard, right? We got, I can't remember his name half the time.
It's Grenard or Greenard.
Grenard,
I'm not
or
sure.
Either way.
Greenwich.
Chad Greenway.
Either way. Yeah, I
France
can't.
and Bacon
honest to
Trust.
God, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but no, the dude. I mean, you look at his stats. The guy was awesome last year.
Yeah.
And he was brought in, and originally everybody thought, oh, that's who we're replacing Deal Hunter with. He's a young guy. He's awesome. He's got some great stats. He's probably going to be great for us. But then we got this guy. We got Dallas.
That's huge.
And we got Van Ginkel.
And we got Van Ginkel. We got Van
And the
Ginkel.
Kringle.
Dude, we got Van Ginkel?
It's okay. We'll try
You
it.
tell me we got Van Ginkel. When did this
We got-
happen?
So
now?
Yeah.
So we're we're hyped over here. Cheddarpot Nation is lit. That's for sure.
Yeah, for
Cheddarpot
sure.
Nation's so lit.
Minnesota sports had a really, really good week.
No, dude. I mean, Kwesi. You see that video of him going up to KOC being like,
He goes Turner.
We got
We
him.
Yeah.
he's like, really?
No, yeah,
Oh
he's-
my god,
KOC was as shocked as everybody because I.
bro. He was
Like-
supposed to go. He was projected to go top 10 on like 70% of mock drafts.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable.
Did you?
No,
did
the
you
Falcons
guys,
taking a quarterback like really shifted everything.
It did. It did.
Yeah.
Right. No, there's a video of Kwesi saying hello to Dallas Turner and like giving him a hug and welcoming him. And I don't know why this isn't being more talked about.
Haven't
The
seen
dude
it.
wasn't wearing shoes. He was just wearing his socks in the office, walking around.
Wait, who?
Kwesi.
Kwesi,
Yeah.
that's so
And I love
tight.
it.
He was
I
probably
love
like
it. That's
meditating
awesome.
before that or some shit.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
That's,
locking in.
that's some very like meditation shit. Walking around without your shoes, it's like it's grounding. It keeps me locked in.
I'll say this. I mean, obviously, I don't know all the GMs in the league. I know the coaches mostly. I don't think anyone's got a chiller vibe than KOC and Kwesi as like a combo. Like they just have
They're
100%.
very chill.
and they're like buddies, and they're like kind of
Yeah.
younger. Like I love the energy that they bring and sort
Yeah,
of
me
like
too.
what they
And
represent. for the team.
you could see it early on when they were going to Timberwolves games together when they just became, the GM and coach. So I mean, I really like these
dapping
guys,
each other
man.
up on the field before
Yeah.
warm-ups. Like
I'm really happy with this draft. And then I didn't really pay them. I was at work today all day, so I didn't really
Yeah.
pay much attention to what we did. But we got a cornerback out of I can't remember Oregon, right?
And
then
I
we
want to
got,
talk about him really quick.
Okay.
I didn't even hear about this.
So we got, but first, before we talk about the picks specifically, so we got the cornerback out of Oregon, we got the tackle out of
Oklahoma,
Oklahoma, that's right, and then we got the
the kicker from Alabama, who's apparently a dog.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything else. I haven't really paid attention.
We got a
much, which-
defensive tackle from some college I've never really fucking heard of, some Texas college.
Okay.
And then we
Okay.
also drafted a center. I think that was our last pick. So some backup
Cool, but-
O-line, good
Yeah.
picks. But that cornerback was like, I'm not sure if this is correct, but I believe they said he was like an All-American out of high school. Huge. Apparently he never missed a tackle in his time at Oregon. And if there's one thing Brian Flores loves in his like safeties and his cornerbacks is motherfuckers who can tackle. So
yeah, no kidding.
I think it was just like because it was another great year for corners. Like at this point, every draft's gonna be good for corners just because of the way like these kids are developing athletically. But I think we got a really good piece in the fourth round who could like potentially work his way up to like cornerback 3, maybe cornerback 2. Like as much as I love Akileb Evans, his days might be numbered because this kid looks fucking awesome, and he's got like a really great personality too, which is really cool to see. Just seeing some of his videos or interviews.
Nobody really is talking about or realizes how much we completely revamped the defense. It's like
From top
it's
to bottom.
completely different defense. We got Harrison Smith. We got we got some key guys from last year, but
Cam Bynum, Josh Metellus are back, but other than that, yeah,
oh my god, it's completely different. Like
brand new like linebacking core. Yeah.
And you can tell that this is handpicked by our boy. I mean, it's gonna be awesome, man. I'm really excited about
Yeah.
this.
No,
Like,
I mean the
Brian-
last 2 seasons were leading up to this draft.
Yeah.
In this offseason.
This is going to be sick. So I think we're going to surprise a lot of people this year. However, I do want to say, on the other side of the coin, God forbid we end up sucking, which, would suck. We still got that first round draft pick. We didn't give that
Yeah,
up.
we didn't give it up. We didn't sell
Thank
the farm,
God.
as you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Honestly, huge.
Yeah.
Huge. That's one of the greatest successes of the whole thing. We got good players, but we didn't have to trade, futures for,
Yeah.
for that
Oh,
kind of
man.
stuff. So,
And
Yeah,
again,
no, that's
we're like $100 million under the cap right now. So even after
We got to
pay
pay JJ, though.
But
yeah.
but think about that. What is he going to make, like $30 million a year or something?
Yeah.
So that's still
You're right.
$70 million just
Oh
sitting
my.
for this season.
Ah!
Like, that's sick. Yeah, so
it's
Kwesi
really
cooked,
good.
bro.
Let's go.
Like, he did what he said he was going to do. Competitive rebuild. Last year wasn't awesome. The year before, we made the playoffs. Both of those years were competitive rebuilds. So I'm just saying, like... And also imagine, again, if JJ and Kirk don't get hurt last season. We probably make the playoffs. So
It
all
would've been
this to
different,
say,
yeah.
like... No matter what, like, haters want to say, like, I feel the Vikings are set up to start making a run within the next couple of years, and not only like make a run for 1 or 2 years, but for a long time.
Well, you talk about, how if Kirk didn't get hurt last year and JJ didn't get hurt, how it would look. I mean, it would look completely different. What if we ended up going NFC Championship? I mean, probably wouldn't have done it, but imagine we got to the playoffs, at least divisional round, and maybe Kirk resigns.
Yeah,
Maybe
true.
we don't end up getting JJ, and we don't know what that looks like until we're a few years out, but maybe it ended up being a good thing. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just
the beauty
I'm
of
glad
sports.
we moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't have much to say. Just beauty of sports. I agree, though. I mean, like, love Kirk, but I think it was time. It can't, just
He got his
can't
bag.
afford
Good
him.
for him.
Yeah, good for him.
He got his backup
Very good for
QB.
Did you guys
He's
have
got
anything?
shared field time.
Did you guys want to say anything else about the Vikings specifically? Otherwise, I want to talk about like some of the other like early first round draft picks and how we're feeling about those.
I mean, maybe just a few things about the draft party, but no.
Skull.
That's it. Yeah, Skull.
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 Wait.
Nice.
Wait.
No,
That was.
Skull.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
I think that's technically an Eiffel Tower.
Let's not talk about that. Let's
And
move on.
so yeah, first round.
My boys
What
are
did you
Eiffel
think?
Towering each other over here. While I'm just in Chicago by myself. Sucks.
You're in your lair.
I'm in my lair.
I was
Wait,
gonna,
The cheese dome.
Cheese. I was gonna make
I'm in
a
a
joke
cheese dome.
earlier that you're actually recording from a Antarctica research base because that's like the glow light and it's
Yeah.
completely dark there half the year.
He
There's
does
also
kinda-
like it's like kind of looks like kryptonite. You know, how kryptonite's got that like green reflective. So there's like a Superman
Yeah.
joke there you could have made, but yeah.
Well,
He's like,
he
"There's a-
does
there's
kind
a
of look
Superman
like he's
joke
off the
somewhere in
grid.
there."
I mean, he
Yeah.
kind of looks like a log cabin smells. I don't
It
know if that
does,
makes sense.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
it does. Yeah. Kind of got like.
Yeah,
I almost
yeah.
half expect to see paneled wood behind the light there.
Anyway,
So what
Clown.
my camera that's actually filming this can't see is that my on this Google Meet call my shit is so dark it looks very ominous. So but anyways, so Clay, did you say you wanted to talk more about the draft party or can we just move on?
I mean, it doesn't matter. It was awesome. Had a lot of fun. So at the end of it, we ended up going over to, so Kate, obviously we're there for her. And she ended up driving us back because we all Ubered there. And so we kind of hung out over by the tunnel just waiting for her to come out because, she has a locker room now. She has her own locker. Like, it's all that. Like,
Right next to
That's
JJ,
so tight.
actually.
It's insane, dude. I mean, I'm so
She's
stoked for
co-workers
her.
with Justin Jefferson, bro.
Bro, oh my God.
That's crazy.
I'm so proud of her. But regardless, so yeah, we're waiting over there. And then Ron Johnson ends up coming over and we talked with him for about 15 minutes. Great guy. That was a lot of fun. But then I got to meet the 10K boys. So shout out to them, man.
Yeah,
Some
shout out
cool
10K
kids.
boys.
Yep.
Yeah, for
Get
real.
them on podcast one day.
Oh well, they are actually future guests of the pod, 10K boys.
Yeah.
And,
They don't know yet, though.
Future,
just don't know it,
future owners of Cheddarpot podcast when they buy us out because we're so popular.
Yeah. Oh, and then we got interviewed. Me and Jake got interviewed by ABC, but they cut it. They cut
Ah.
it. I watched
The one thing
I
you didn't
checked
make. I'm so sorry, bro.
You were on the Vikings.
You're-
their main page.
Two different
Their YouTube
times.
I did make the Vikings page. Well, it depends. So the Twitter was interesting because it's just me, Jake, and my dad. Just I'm double fisting Vizzies and everything.
No, I'm talking about the one where they did the little interview.
Oh,
But it's hilarious because it looks like Jake had said something right before,
And they cut him
They're
completely.
like,
I feel so bad.
yeah, don't put that in there. Don't put that in.
Yeah, but he keeps saying like he just said the exact same thing that I said. But either it doesn't matter.
Which is probably why they cut it.
It's
They're
still
like they
kinda
both
funny.
said
I feel
they're
bad.
just excited people.
Yeah,
So
no,
we'll just
made
put one of them
made the Vikings page. Dreams are coming true every day. Isn't the world we live in beautiful?
in. It is, and that's great that you mentioned that because our official sponsor of this episode is the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. They
Jesus, like no.
they paid us a lot of money to talk about them, even though we do it every week.
Yeah.
Thanks, Minnesota Vikings.
Thank you very much.
So,
Anyway.
with all that said, obviously, like, other teams had to draft people. That's how it works. We're not the only one. So, the Bears go number 1, take Caleb Williams. We all saw that coming. Number 2, Jaden Daniels to the Commanders, which, like, again, also we kind of saw it coming, but we weren't sure because it seemed like a juggling act between will it be Drake May or Jaden. And then, obviously, Drake May goes 3rd. So, what do we think about those picks? How do we see that kind of shaken out, especially with the Bears being in our division?
Yeah, well, quick question. Jaden Daniels, he's the quarterback for LSU, or he was the quarterback for LSU.
Heisman winner. Buddy.
I think I saw something very interesting because at the beginning of the draft, they were doing promos and stuff. So this is even before the first pick is in. And I saw a promo, they're showing, all these college guys. And then they showed a dude celebrating. So the way that they formatted this graphic, it was like the live actual video of a play happening. It was an LSU player, and then they did a graphic of a guy like kind of ominous with shade, but he was in red and gold. He was in a Washington's uniform. So when I saw that, I'm like, wait, does that mean that like they already know who's gonna be taken? I don't know. I'm just saying. I saw that and I was like,
oh, you're talking about the NFL scripts? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I mean,
fixes in.
probably,
it's all part of the
they
script,
probably
man.
knew they were going to take it, and then they made that graphic. But, I mean, you could also just argue. I mean, think of how many jerseys that they make for all the players in case they get chosen by a specific team. They probably had a bunch of graphics ready to go.
Well,
but I was just curious because it happened before the draft started, and I was like, are they telling us?
I mean, if you want to put your tinfoil hat on, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if at least the first 3 picks were. They got to be predetermined, and I feel like the teams, if they know exactly who they're doing, the NFL probably reaches out to them like, hey, do you know exactly what you're going with? We want to be ready for this. And then if they already do, maybe they tell them essentially, and if anything changes, then they just kind of roll with it. But Caleb Williams is going to the Bears 100%. Yeah, exactly. There was no chance he wasn't. I mean, but you never know. And then
I just thought it was interesting.
with Drake May, it was kind of a question mark, I guess, maybe, but
yeah.
It would be
or
cool.
More specifically, who would have him?
It'd be like a cool idea for a TV show. And maybe, I don't know, maybe someone could hire me to make this. But it's like, maybe like West Wing kind of, like, all about the dirty stuff that happens in D.C., except it focuses on, like, the NFL draft and, like, the weeks that lead up to it and all. Because there's a lot of, like, shady, like, stuff and backstabbing and promises that don't get made and yada yada. We can get Sean Payton in there. We can do the scene where he's like, "Yeah, I faked the Vikings out because they traded up because they thought we wanted JJ, but we wanted Bo Nix at 12."
yeah.
I'm just saying I can make that show and make.
No, you got like
Isn't that a movie? Draft Day?
yeah.
They kind of do some. I mean, I guess it's just.
I've
about
never
the
seen
draft,
it.
No.
but-
I've heard that
I've never-
movie's terrible though, so maybe someone needs to do a good job.
Oh, it's cringy. It's cringy. Yeah.
I already got a subplot for you, and you got like
That
Sean
was-
Payton hiring like mobsters to go fucking.
Boom.
Beat up,
And,
like-
that maybe that
Just
actually
a
does
house,
happen.
yeah.
I don't know.
Or
I'll
just
do
go
my
intimidate,
research.
say like, hey, if you end up taking him, there's gonna be repercussions. Just so you know.
I'm gonna write a book.
If you don't take it, we're gonna take care of that pick for you, huh?
Exactly like that.
Excuse me. We do impressions.
He does impressions.
Clay can try to do impressions, but he just ends up sounding like Carl Weezer, so it's.
Yeah, I can't. It's every single time. It's about half of them.
Give us your impression of Kevin O'Connell.
No,
That's
can't
not
do
an
it.
easy one.
I feel like that's just.
Give us your impression of Kirk Cousins.
Oh, that's a good one.
Wait. I don't know, actually. I mean,
You like that? You like that? That's all you had to do.
no, I can't do it. I'm not even gonna try. I feel like
No,
he
you're
puts his
fine.
hands on his hips a lot, though, when he's like on the microphone. He's like,
You know what I will
Says
miss
that.
about Kirk is in any like situation when like the games they'd have him mic'd up, where normal players would be like,
golly.
F that. He's just
Golly.
going, God, darn it. Oh, golly, shoot, dang it. I love it, man. It's just, he's a dad at his core. It's just so great.
Oh yeah,
We miss
he's
him a little
such
bit.
a good little Christian. Can't be swearing. He would never. But that makes him way more like admirable in my opinion, because you frick around and find out. Okay,
God dang
you
it.
frick around and find out.
God dang it.
So I want to touch on the Twins for like half a second.
Yeah,
if
let's
we
do
can.
some Twins talk.
I
We're
mean,
on a
very
5-game
short,
win
though.
streak.
I mean, if we don't have to, I thought we were going to go a little more in depth on the Michael Penix pick. But
Oh no, we already talked about it. We ended up saying we're gonna do it later, but then we did that.
We could.
If you were listening,
it's crazy. That's it. It's just wild.
no,
Yeah.
it's insane.
The wildest point of the whole draft,
Yeah.
or the most out of left field. So
Let's touch on
let's
the
talk
Twins
about
here
the-
for a
We
second.
can laugh at the Falcons and move on. That's how I feel.
Yes, exactly. And we'll see what happens in 4 years, I guess. But besides that, so Twins, we are. Wait, they play today?
Yeah, they're
play
in
on
LA
Saturday,
right now,
don't they?
so it starts.
Oh, we
probably
yeah,
just now.
starts
Starting
late.
now.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I went to a couple games there. That actually 2 years ago I went to the Angels stadium. I can't remember
How was
what it's
it?
called. It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So it's a really, really fun place. I mean, they got a really good field out there, but dude, oh my gosh, the bench seats, 170 degrees.
Damn.
I am not
That's
joking.
crazy.
So, me and my buddies went.
They metal.
I got shout out the band. No.
Just burning their ass.
Yeah, it's metal.
third degree burn.
Shout out the band Joel. Went with my boys over there. We ended up watching the Twins play the Angels, and we lost, of course. But we, dude, we burned our asses off quite literally. I had sun poisoning on my legs.
Holy
and,
shit.
Yep, the next few days I was cold all the time. It was the wildest thing, but no, man, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, I have to say.
Went to the Angel
He said-
Stadium, got
says
sun
all that.
poisoning, watched my team lose, had a great time.
It was amazing.
We went to
Time
the
with boys.
stadium. I nearly died. Top 10 moment.
Yep.
Top 10 moment. Yeah.
Can't argue with
Not
that.
It was great. No, yeah, but so Twins just swept the worst team in baseball. We just,
It's impressive.
yeah.
Honestly, Minnesota teams lose. We play up to the talent, it feels like, all the time, and then we lose against mediocre teams. So refreshing to see them sweep
Yeah.
a team that they should sweep, right?
Sounds
Yep.
like a lot of Minnesota sports.
All games we should have won, and we did.
Whatever. It's fine.
That's
But
nice.
we will,
Correa on his way back. Pookie Wookie's still hurt.
Rookie.
Pookie
Royce
Dude, I
Lewis.
need... Cole, we need a Pookie report.
I miss Pookie.
Do you have a Pookie report?
Yep, he's still pooking.
Thank
I
God.
looked it up. So for those listening, Pookie is Royce Lewis, and we need him back more than anything in this world. I think he's batting right now. He's in batting practice. I don't know when he's going to return. I assume I've seen reports hopefully before, like right before All-Star break, but oh my dude, come on. That's so far away.
So
I didn't
as
realize it
someone
was
who-
that bad. He must
No,
have
but
tore the
I was going to
hamstring.
say on the other side, I've seen reports that it's going to be within the month, so I guess
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well, when
So
they first
as-
put him on the 10-day IL, I didn't think it was a big deal, but
No.
clearly it is.
So
So as someone that's not the most avid baseball fan, can either one of you kind of let me know, when he comes back, is he going to come back as a designated hitter for a while first? Will
Probably.
he assume, off or outfield or just, playing out in the field, or is he just going to be batting? Is that just
That's a good
touch
question.
and go for each player, or?
Well, he hurt himself running the bases, so I don't know if it's like keeping him only at DH is worth it. But I think that will be how it starts. Maybe keep him out of the field just because there's more
Yeah.
room for injury there. But I don't know. I feel like if he's ready to come back, hopefully he's ready to field. But
Yeah.
there's definitely a chance that happens. Yeah.
we need him back.
Here's another question for you. In MLB, are they allowed to, so a guy goes up, he hits. Obviously, he's got to run to first or whatever base. But after the play is dead, can they sub out another player to
Yeah,
run
like
the
pinch
bases
runner.
for him?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you sub out that player, then whoever's coming out has to be done for the game. So it can't just be to run bases. Yeah. So if they
Interesting,
would
did not
sub
know.
Royce Lewis out, it would be like in the 6th or 7th inning if we have like a lead. Yeah.
I see.
But-
Okay.
You would assume no, they won't bring him back to full game speed if he's not able to do it. So
Yeah.
at that point,
Right.
I don't think it'll be a big deal. But it's all about just the rehab, and your hamstring is like a very big muscle.
Yeah.
I think was it his hamstring or his quad?
It was his quad, I think.
It was his quad. Even worse, because
If
that's
I'm
you got the hip
not
flexor
mistaken,
right there. Yeah. No, that's
Don't quote me on that, but I remember the word quad.
Yeah, that's
being
it.
thrown around quite a few
They
times.
hit the quad. They hit the Quan.
Double check that.
Yeah, that's a tough injury though to come back from if he like really fucked it up. So.
Yeah.
Pookie,
Leave a comment.
get
Call
better,
me a dumbass if I'm wrong. But yeah, we need him back, and then I mean, well, I guess we'll just see what happens against the Angels here. You know, we beat them last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Good game
so
too.
then-
We were down in the 9th and then came back and won.
That's right. So
Yeah.
we'll just see what happens with this series. And wait, no, if we win tonight, we're back at 500.
We're back to
good.
Twibs.
Yep, back to Twibs. So, okay, should we explain it?
We should.
Yeah, I suppose we should. Do you want
Okay.
to?
Fine. God damn it. Okay.
I can. No, I'm totally fine doing it.
No,
It's
I'll do
silly.
it. Okay. So, I don't know why we do this, but I don't know why we do half the things
Well,
we
it
do.
started with Vikings just randomly.
Yeah, it started with Vikings. I think it was just a random Facebook comment that we saw,
Oh, yeah, it
and we
was Go
called
Go
them the
Vikings.
Vikings. Yeah, and then so we had called them the Vikings, and then we started talking about, I think it was probably the Twins next, and then we're like, we need a name for them too. Let's just, what illiterate, variation can we come up with? And so it's going to be the Twibs, right?
What's the dumbest sounding
Yeah,
name
Twibs,
we can
100%.
Yeah.
And so then we got the Wild, which is a very hard one to come up with. There's a few ones, I put in Wimmed, instead of the L, there's the M, but we ended up with Wild with an E at the end of it. So Cheese, how do you pronounce Wildy? Is it Wildy?
I would always,
Wild.
in my head, I pronounced it Wildy.
Wildy? I say Wildy. I like Wildy better, but it doesn't matter.
Wildy would be with a Y.
Yeah, and then the Wolves, obvious one is the Wolves, right?
Yeah,
It's
throw a
easy,
B
it
in
rolls off the
there.
tongue.
It's always
So
funny
the
to throw
whole
a random
rule
B
here-
into a word.
Yeah, exactly. It
Ask him
sounds
the ball.
stupid, but we love it. So the whole rule
Clay.
here is when they are at 500. When they are
Good
at
example.
when they're at 500 or greater, they switch to their illiterate name.
Yeah, we get to.
Basically,
refer.
their higher form, and
They're higher for.
We want to be
becomes-
Twibs. We want to.
We
If
want
we're
to be
calling them the
Twibs, yeah.
Twins, that means shit's not
Yeah.
going well.
a simpleton may think it should be the opposite way, but no, their higher form is the illiterate variation. So we're going to continue that.
That's when we're going to be the most dummy, when we're excited and they're
Exactly.
winning. We're going to be
Yes.
going, Wolves, Wolves.
amazing. Yeah, well, we've been Wolves all season, baby.
We have been Wolves. Wolves have been very excited.
Speaking of which, what a
I was gonna say,
segue.
is that a good transition into the Wolves, the
I feel like,
Timberwolves?
Because we still got to talk about hockey. Should we do the playoffs first, or should we?
Yeah, I mean, we can. They've been good series thus far.
Yeah.
Wait, while you guys
I
talk
mean-
about this, I'm gonna let my cat in because he's pounding at the door.
Speaking of hockey, how are things looking for your picks, Clay? Or is everything kind of turning out how you thought it would?
Question is, how are things looking for your picks, man? You got the Stars, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I can kind of tackle my bracket that I made. I think for the most part, a large majority of the teams in the first round here, the series are trending in the direction of the teams that I had chosen winning. I mean, gosh, there's a lot of teams. So I'm not going to try and remember them all off the top of my head here. But I think the biggest shockers for me are certainly the Dallas Stars, right? In the last podcast I had mentioned, I thought that they were, and they absolutely still are, but that they were a heavy favorite. Or maybe not necessarily favorite, but I thought they were destined to make a deep run this year. And they play tonight. We'll see how things go for them. But the Knights are taking it to them.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great example of what we see many times in all the major sports. Well, really just sports in general, is when you go into a playoff atmosphere, the teams that go into the playoffs hot tend to stay hot. And the Knights were kind of twiddling their thumbs midway through the year, and towards the end of the year here, they really started to heat up. Now, that being said, the Stars never really cooled off, so that's why I'm really surprised. But the games have been relatively close, it seems like. So we'll see. We'll see. I know, man, it's hard to come back losing both of your home games and then having to win it for sure, one on the road, if not both, to make it, easier on you. So we'll see. I think the other one that is maybe a little surprising, I don't know if it's that surprising, but I was really pumped for the Kings that they stole a game in Edmonton. after that first game when Edmonton beat them 6-1,
Yeah, it was
6-2, something. They pummeled
6
them.
points for
I'm
sure.
six
And
for one.
then the Kings win, and then the Kings lost pretty bad at home.
Yeah.
So as I had expected, I thought that was honestly going to be a sweep series for the Oilers.
It's a fun series for sure, though.
It has been. Well, it's refreshing to see the
interesting.
Oilers. It feels like every year their stars kind of go into
Yeah.
hiding sometimes in the playoffs. But
But
this
yeah,
year's been good.
McDavid, first game he had 5 apples. I mean, you got
He's got an absurd amount of playoff points
dude,
right now.
it's insane. I mean, that team, they got to do something. It seems like they've been on the cusp of at least making a deep run for a bit. Speaking of which, though, I mean, there's 2 teams that I felt have been like they're just right there. They feel like they're about to push to the other side. It's felt like that for a while. Rangers and the
Absolutely.
Canes. Rangers and the Canes, man. I feel like they've been right there for a while. I think the Canes have been kind of whatever for a bit, but then, dude, they just lost today to the Islanders
OT,
in second
double OT.
overtime, but they were about to sweep them, and so they're red hot. I got a good feeling about the Canes,
Yeah.
but the Rangers, on the other hand, man, I'm really excited about.
I could see the Rangers winning the whole thing. I would be shocked if they were left anywhere short of making it to the Stanley Cup Finals. If they lost in their conference finals, that would be really surprising to me. But then again, best of 7 series, it's my favorite. I love as much as the next person, single elimination games that, the NFL does. But man, there's something about watching 2 teams duke it out for, a best of 7 because it builds, bad blood. You get some people get to shine. You get the whole change and momentum. Sometimes it's just really
It
exciting.
creates champions, and it
Yeah.
truly shows who is the best team. I
Yeah,
mean,
I agree.
There's no better way to do that.
So we'll see. The other series that has been curious to me, the Avalanche and the Jets. It's going how I thought it would go, but I was surprised when the Jets won. Was it the first game that they won?
Yeah,
It
7
really
goals.
shocked me. I didn't expect them to do that. And it's been a good series. I know the last game the Avalanche poured it on them in the third period, but you know what? Connor Hellebuyck is a incredible goaltender. He needs.
good.
He needs just to kind of dial back in, but he's the guy that can do that, right?
Yep.
There's a lot of goalies I would worry about if they just get, a handful of bad games to start a series. You're down in a series that they can't get their mental psyche back to where it needs to be, but he's a guy that, I expect can do that. So we'll see how the rest of that series turns out too. But otherwise, I mean, every other team has kind of been winning as expected. I think the Maple Leaf Bruins would be the other one that's a little... I could have seen it go both ways. I could see the Leafs leading the series just as the Bruins are right now. I could have seen it go either way. So
I thought the Preds were going to be doing a little better.
yeah, I suppose. The
But
Canucks are good this year, man. They're
they're
really
awesome.
good, which is
Let's go Nucks.
we're not used to that. We're not used to the
I'm
Nucks.
on the
Oh,
Nuck
it's
train,
just so-
dude. I am on the
Yeah,
Nuck train
Yeah.
for real. I
They
mean,
got
I know I
Brock
picked the
Besser,
Panthers.
too, Minnesota
but-
native.
Yeah, that's
Brock
right.
Besser is from Burnsville,
He's
just
from
like cheese.
Burnsville. I was born in Burnsville. He's a future Wildie.
We should find a way to sneak that in every single podcast. Cause
Every
that's the second one
time.
now.
No, I will say I fuck with the Canucks so heavily because I remember like when I was younger watching the Wild play them in the playoffs and being like, oh, I fucking hate these guys. So I've just always had this bad connotation.
Sure.
But
Well,
now,
they were our biggest rival back then.
yeah, for a long time, yeah. But now
Yeah.
it's like, I first of all, I love that their fucking team name is Canuck, which I believe is just like another word for like a Canadian, right?
Yeah, it's that.
Yeah. Well,
That's
their,
hard.
their mascot's an orca too.
Yeah, and the
right?
orca, the
Which is super
mascot's
cool.
great. The jerseys are awesome.
Their colors are great. Yeah,
As
they
you
got
know,
good
yeah,
colors,
blue
too.
and green, great color combo, as we know here in Minnesota with the Timberwolves.
Almost
It's just-
identical
yeah.
color, like the same shade too, right? Like that color green and that color blue are
Yeah,
almost
and they
identical.
switched.
to
Yeah,
what we
they
have.
kind of like the blue and green they rock now is kind of like our OG blue and green with the classic looks.
And
But-
100%.
that's
yeah,
like,
dude, go
that's like,
Canucks, bro. If the Panthers don't win, I'm hoping the Canucks do.
Yeah, it'll be good. You know what? I know a lot of Americans are like, we can't ever let the Canadians win the Stanley Cup. Dude, look at the league. Every team has Russians, Swedes, Norwegian, like everyone from all over the face of the planet are on these teams. I think it's actually funny because they were talking about. I saw a post. I don't remember which Canadian team it was, but they're like, oh boy, yeah, it'd be really great for this Canadian team of 5 Canadian players to win it. They had 5 of their 15-man roster, however many it is, that are Canadian. So I think it's silly for people to get caught up on that. Canadians love hockey just as much as we do, so I'd be happy for any team that's not the Knights or the Stars.
I'd love to see a Canadian team.
Or the Bruins.
Honestly,
I don't really
win it.
care
That'd be
for the
awesome.
Bruins.
But yeah, whatever.
Fuck
I mean,
Boston.
I don't.
Boston.
Fuck Boston.
Yeah.
Fuck them all. They got enough. They won so many championships for each of their sports in like the last 20 years. They can fucking take one. All right.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
that's
I will
true,
not be
but now
happy if Boston
We got
wins.
Sports City Tampa now, so I guess Lightning. Wait, did they win today?
They did win today.
They won
Yeah.
6-3, and if there's any team that's down in the series right now that would make
6-3.
it back, I think the Lightning can
Oh
do it.
my
Hell
gosh.
no.
They peppered him, man.
Yeah, well, but the Lightning have a lot of their players have that veteran experience in these do or die situations in the playoffs that other teams just don't. They know they've been there before. They know how to get there. So I think they would be the ones that give them a run.
Yeah, that's
but
valid.
we'll see.
Dang.
Anyways,
Pucks on net, baby.
Pucks on net. That's kind of the playoffs.
Pucks on that, baby.
It'll be interesting. And you know what? It's early in the series early in this series, midway in this series, but some of these matchups, we just got to give them a little more time. A handful of them, the lesser team is getting swept or nearly swept. That's to be expected. But there's a good couple of these series I would not be shocked if they go to 7 games, and that's when it'll be really interesting.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if Winnipeg Avs did.
Maple Leaf Bruins, I can see going. I know that the Bruins are ahead right now as we're recording this, so they might get the lead, but we'll see.
Get them deep.
All right.
Pucks on net.
Next
Pucks on that, man.
Yep.
topic.
No, but
Yeah,
seriously, why do I'm curious really quickly. So I was talking to my dad earlier. Why do these players, like when you have, so like Kevin Gorg, for example, every single intermission interview, you got the exact same thing, and every single hockey player. I mean, I was watching the Rangers Caps yesterday. Or not yesterday, the other day. And then you got like Vincent Trocheck saying the exact same thing everybody else is saying. It's always just like these vague robotic answers. And do they have like the same PR training from the same guy? Every single player that comes into the league? I just don't understand why it's that way.
I think they're told just not to say anything really controversial or much less express an opinion, personal opinion about any of the turnout of a game. I mean, you see it every now and then, but for the most part, I think I get it. It's a safe bet. I mean, you don't want to let other teams know you've gotten to them or you're angry or whatever. So you just say, hey, why did you lose that game? No, I didn't get enough pucks deep in the net. Forecheck was kind of shallow. We could have been much more aggressive with our two-way play. And then if you win the game, we got a lot of pucks deep. We had a strong forecheck. Our two-way play was really
pretty good.
It's like, it goes both ways. You played shitty or you played well. So. But yeah, I am so on board with you. So I would love for players to be like, just once, I want them to get like in the post-game interview, yeah, I'm fucking pissed. Yeah. That guy over there is a shady bastard and he tripped me and that's why we lost the game. I don't know. Just getting heated about it, right?
So Cole, you guys lost 8-0. The franchise is moving to Utah. How you feeling?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think one of the biggest things that we didn't do and we had a lack of is just pucks on net. Pucks on net, get them deep. Our passing needed to be sharper. We just weren't rotating as well as we have in other games, and we just need to establish a stronger forecheck. If we do that, I'm sure the team will come back.
Should the team will not go to you?
That was really good. That was awesome.
Oh my god.
What if you if you're like an everyday scenario, like imagine. So you just lost everything. Your house is gone. The tornado took it all. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we really need to do and focus on in this time is just getting more pucks down and deep in and on net. Quite frankly, getting them on net is going to lead to more goals. With more goals, we can win these games. So.
I have a question for
Thank you.
Cole, if I could.
Yeah, for sure.
Cole,
Get it in.
all your investments, every dollar you've put in to the market, those things have crashed. You now owe the government so much money. Your wife left you because she was sick of you spending all your money on these stocks and trades. You're a goddamn shell of the man you used to be. I'm disgusted looking at you. How do you feel?
Yeah, no, time and time again, it's really as simple as puck's deep. Puck's deep, and if we keep that, we talk about it every day in the locker room. Coach says, "Hey, puck's on net, and we know if we get them there, that shell will break, and we'll have more pucks on net, and more goals, and more wins." So
Can't argue with that.
Pass, shoot, and score.
Shoot, score.
I think I think Key and Peele did they did a little bit of a skit on that where he starts asking him the questions and he just answers like that and he goes, "What'd you have for breakfast?" He's like, "Puck's deep, puck's on net."
Letterkenny did the same thing too.
Yeah,
They were
it's
really
a good
good.
bit. Well, and it's true, man. I mean, look,
It's the same PR guy
We
for all of
mentioned,
them.
we know why
Swear
they
to God.
do it. They do it to not be controversial, especially in a team sport. You don't want to try and stick out like that. But I mean, man, it gets boring, some of these interviews. And I'm like, why did we waste our time with that? But what are you going to do?
Anyway,
Yeah, I know how to
It's a good bit,
transition
though.
that to basketball,
Yeah, how?
which I could. It's kind of similar in basketball interviews at the end, but they're not saying like that. But what's funny with basketball interviews is almost like half the time you can tell the player didn't like hear what they said because, again, half the time like the reporter's, half the size of the person.
That's so true.
And they're like reaching up, but you can tell they don't hear it. And like when they don't hear it, they always give the same answer. And they're just like, "Yeah, I thought we played with a good pace. Other teams defending us really well. We just got to set more pick and rolls and just move the ball a little bit more. But I like the way we're playing. Yeah,
well,
Yeah.
the truth is, what do you say?
exactly. You got to answer the question, right? Regardless
Geez,
if you heard it or not.
You made a really good point too. I feel like in those in the post game interviews, right? Not the intermission or like when they do that, halfway through the game, but post game, you always got to make a point to compliment the other team. Oh, they're a hard fought team. They gave us a really hard running there. There's a formula, and Clay's absolutely right. It's got to be a league PR guy for every single league that goes into these locker rooms and is like, this is exactly. We have a script.
Yeah.
Memorize it. Go to bed. I want you to dream about this. This is how you answer every question moving forward.
That's probably true.
It is interesting though, because my dad. I asked him specifically because he was drafted by the Jets back in '85, and his son decided to be an artist. So he was super stoked
And a
about that. But
I love that. Just that quick cut right to and his son decided to be an artist.
just disappointment. No,
Yes.
but I asked him specifically because I'm like, okay, so do you guys? Because I was curious. I mean, he played college hockey for 4 years. Do you have people? Because I assume there was interviews happening then. I mean, it's the '80s. It's not like it's the fucking dinosaur time. So, do you have people who are teaching you how to do it? He sent me the shrug emoji. He went. I was like, all right.
Very dad
Thanks, Pop.
answer.
That is a very dead
Or
answer.
So
no.
appreciate it. I know less now than I did before. Thank you.
That's beautiful. All right, I'm gonna have to hijack this beautiful story about you and your dad. We gotta move to. I don't think we have time to talk about all the NBA, but we'll talk about the Timberwolves. As we are all wearing Timberwolves gear, we have yet to really talk about them at all. An hour in, and that's okay. And that's okay because this is what you've all been waiting for. So, our in-depth analysis. No, I'll say right now. Obviously, like the Wolves are like my favorite team. Basketball is my favorite sport. I would like to consider myself the Wolves guys, but I will say right now, the two of you have been doing a very good job of like keeping up with the games and like making sure you know what's up so you can provide some in-depth analysis for all of our listeners who are looking for good journalism. So with
Is that what we're calling it?
yeah, we're
We know
journalists. Okay, this is whatever journalism's supposed to be. So my question to you guys is, how are you feeling about these Minnesota Timberwolves, and how are you feeling about us being up 3-0 against a team that has 3 of the best scorers in the NBA? What are the vibes?
Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
Vibes are immaculate cheese. They're fantastic.
And the vibes are palpable.
Yeah, back to you,
you on,
Cheese.
Chet.
Yep. No, we.
Bucks on that.
No, man, we're hyped.
I was gonna.
Bucks on that, baby.
If you had let me speak first, I was gonna go.
Damn it, dude, that would have been
I
fucking
wanted to
good.
do, yeah.
Save that for like a random episode, like 4 weeks from
this
now.
is a deep
I'll
bit.
put that in
This
the
one's
back
going
pocket.
Yeah, no, this has to be. Okay.
It will
Anyway, we're hyped. Cheddarpot Nation is absolutely lit right now. I'm just stoked, man. We got the depth is insane, man. We got our star players, right? We got Ant going crazy, putting up 30 points again. How many points he put up last night?
34,
35.
35.
And it's his 7th 30-point game in the playoffs already.
That's
Right. Who did he tie?
He tied Kevin Garnett.
It was KJ.
And he's
yeah.
22
That's awesome.
years old.
How great is it that Kevin Garnett, was it you that posted that in our group chat?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that every step of the way he's
Insane.
been like, go break those records.
go break those
come on."
records, baby.
He's been
man.
Ant's biggest cheerleader like all season long. It's been awesome.
And
super cool.
yeah, but you got Cat who just gets on fire for a little bit, hits like 3 after 3 after 3.
Super reliable.
his cre-
Super
Yeah.
reliable.
His creepy stare after he hit that 3 and put us up like
Yeah.
20, he was just like,
Oh,
it was terrifying. I was like, oh my God.
That was such a cat thing to do too. Like a little,
He
little
stood there for
cringy.
like 15 seconds.
He's awesome.
Yeah,
No, but
a little
it's-
cringy,
we
but
love
like
him.
he had
And after
every
all
reason
that-
to flex. Yeah.
No, he's awesome. And then Rudy. By the way, this is gonna be bad. Have they announced Defensive Player of the Year?
No,
yet?
that should happen next
Okay.
week some point.
Okay.
They'll announce
I didn't know when they were
DPOY
doing
Coach
that.
of the Year and MVP.
Wait,
So I have
really?
not been paying attention to that.
I didn't know that they spread out the award because they already did like 6-man. and
I
stuff,
like that they
right?
do that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's a good way to do it.
It's kind of like the
first round
major
playoffs.
awards they save for like the week after because they want to do just one
That's
a day.
smart. I love that.
Yeah.
Do they also contribute the play of these players in the first round of the
No,
playoffs?
no.
Or
No,
it's
regular
strictly
season.
So all
regular
the voting
season,
is
okay.
done. So now it's just
That wouldn't be fair, honestly.
Gotcha.
now they're just
For, like,
waiting
if
to
you got
announce
yeah.
it.
But yeah, Rudy's Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, it's got it.
He
It's
seems
pretty
to be a lock,
obvious,
yeah.
right? At this point.
It doesn't look like anyone
So-
else is going to get enough votes. And it'll
Yeah,
be his
but-
4th
It's
Defensive
so-
Player of the Year in his career.
He's so strong, man. Like when I watch
big,
him play,
strong
and
man.
Well, here's the thing, though, right? I look at other players that are his size, like his height, and they're kind of string beanie,
Yeah.
right? They're kind of like a green
Wendy.
bean. They're, obviously, dude, they're certainly strong still. Those players obviously work out and lift and train. Of course, they're strong. They would kick my fucking ass in the paint any day. But when you look at Rudy, dude is like, he's tall, but he's still built, and it's terrifying. When he like slam dunks and they slow mo it, and you see the fucking delts,
Dude,
and,
he's like
his
touching
tries,
the
you're like,
fucking
Jesus
ground when
Christ.
he's it's ridiculous.
It's
So
literally
yeah,
the meme of that kid going,
Yeah, but
Jesus
then-
Christ.
when I was, continuing on, like, we're talking about depth, we got, oh my God, Nas Reed, of course, 6th Man of the Year, and then you go to Nah, baby. Last night,
Big Nah
incredible.
game.
That oh
Dude,
my
he
God.
pulled us ahead when we needed
The
him.
Nah
Jaden-
game.
How many threes
I'll let
in a
y'all
row
keep
did he
talking
hit
because I
last
can
night?
just
3.
keep going. I'm
It was like 3 straight in the quarter. It was
Yeah.
awesome. And then
was
he had like 5
was
total,
crucial.
I think.
amazing. That was a great game, and we have every game. It's been like a 20+ lead, like 15-20 at the end of
At
the game.
some point, yeah. At the end of
Insane.
the I mean, last night was the first time we didn't put the reserves in until like the last 30 seconds.
Well, of course, but I am curious
still
though,
got it
because
in, that's-
so one thing I do have to ask, as somebody who hasn't watched the NBA a very long time, with the reserves, do you have teams like are you waiting for the team to basically wave the white flag and then you put your reserves in? Like, because obviously the Penis Suns are trying to win. They're going to keep their starters in. But
Yeah.
how does that work?
There gets a
essentially?
point in the game where you can kind of tell, like, all right, we're not playing, we're not going to win. Like, if you're down by usually like 20, 25 points with like 2 or 3 minutes left, that's usually when you pull them. But like the Suns they just kept hitting threes. Like, they just had these kind of last ditch efforts. So They probably would have pulled their starters sooner had that not been happening. So it's
But they also don't want to go down 3-0, so I imagine that they're going
Yeah.
to keep their starters in as long as they can.
exactly.
So, makes sense.
Exactly.
Well, you secretly you got like guys like KD who have really really impressive playoff numbers. So can't help you're down, but given an opportunity to score more points and possibly break records, I mean that's maybe got to be a factor. But what's really interesting to me. So obviously, again echoing what you both have said, super stoked. When I started doing a little research on has there ever been an NBA team that came back from a 0-3 deficit in a series. I started doing like a deep dive on other sports, and it's obviously very, very rare, but it seems like the NBA is the only sport of the four majors that has ever not had a team come back from that.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Knock
on that.
Where's the
wall
wood?
for
No,
me right over
there's a panel right there.
It is.
Good, we're gonna knock on wood.
You gotta reach it.
It's very hard to
what I
beat
found was
a team 4 games in a row, especially when you're down 0-3. So that's what makes it challenging to like come back and do that.
Yeah, and the way I explained it to Rachel yesterday is like
His girlfriend.
If you're the team, like a reverse sweep is much more unlikely because if a team has beaten you 3 times in a row, they're theoretically the better team, so it's that much harder. Oh, sorry, I had lost my train of thought. I told her that it's actually quite easy for teams to sweep other teams. But that makes sense, right? To win 4 in a row, if you win 4 in a row without losing a game, it's because you're just a dominant team. But to do the inverse when you've lost 3,
with
you had
no
to get
momentum,
there. You had to get there.
Yeah.
If you got to that point, you're not a better team. So let's be honest. So, no, it'll be really interesting. But here's the thing that I heard that I thought was really interesting. We're seeing the older generation of like the star players in the NBA start to dwindle here. LeBron is about to not be in the
LeBaron.
He's not going to be in the rest of it. Steph Curry, he's not in it, and Kevin Durant's about to not be in it. And I guess Davis isn't. I mean, he's really talented.
He's still pretty young,
but he's kind of one of those guys too that won't be in that group. But just really interesting, man. Really, really interesting to see these guys that we've seen in the finals, time and time again. Kind of get knocked out.
And then you look at the guys who are like starting to take over now, like Ant specifically, who everyone thinks is going to be like the face of the league, and Luka with the Mavericks are looking really good. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with the Thunder, they just went up 3-0 against the Pelicans today.
Is Jokic, how old is he?
He's like 26, 27? So he's like not super young, but he's not super old.
He's not super old. He's got a lot of stuff to still
and also
show.
Cole, I'm not sure if you knew this, and if you don't know this, I think it's going to blow your mind, but Nickeil Alexander-Walker is related to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They're
I don't know who that
they're
second
cousins.
guy is.
Oh, well that's okay. If you could tell, the Alexander part is where they're related. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is like the star for the Thunder, and he was in the MVP vote. He could win very well, but he's amazing. As much as I hate to admit it, as an avid hater of the Thunder, he's very good. But he's related to our boy on our team, and anytime they play, they usually match up on each other, which is kind of cool.
That's dope.
I think I've seen. Cool. So I've been watching the NBA recaps for the playoffs, just to kind of, more specifically, the closer games. If a team beat another team by like 20 points, I kind of am like, all right, I can have an idea of how it goes. But I have watched a few OKC games. I don't really recollect many of the players because the last I had remembered they had KD and Westbrook, but clearly they don't have either of those guys anymore. So
it's been a long time.
You're saying. So who are their stars right now? Then you just mentioned one, Alexander.
So Shai, who's like their point guard, but he's a bit bigger. He more has the build as a shooting guard, but he's like their point guard. They also have Chet Holmgren, who is a Minnesota born and bred guy. He went to Gonzaga.
Cool.
Was it Apple Valley, right?
No, I think he was not Minnetonka. Fucking shit.
Yeah,
dude, I swear to God he was Apple Valley.
No, St. Louis Park, maybe? Him and Jalen Suggs. We can look that up. We can number crunch that.
He was Minnetonka fucking shit.
Fucking shit. No, you would know if he was Tonka, so he's definitely not Tonka.
I'm Minnetonka fucking shit. Yeah, hold on.
I think it
I swear
might
to
be
God.
St. Louis Park, but we'll see. Anyway, so they have Chet Holmgren, who was drafted.
Jamie, look it up.
What?
I said, Jamie, look it up.
Jamie, can you look
doing
at
it
right
now.
Can you play that back?
Just
Jamie, can we get out?
forget me. Just
He's
don't
technically
listen to
a
me.
rookie this year, even though he was drafted last year, but he got hurt before the season started and missed the whole thing. So technically he's a rookie this year, but he's definitely playing like somebody who's got, a couple years in the league. And then they also have this guy named Jalen Williams, who's also in his second season, and he's fucking incredible. So basically the Thunder, this is what's exciting about them, unless you're, not a fan of them like me. They are the youngest NBA team in history to get a number 1 seed.
Wow,
So they're
that's insane.
good, and they're going to be good for a long time.
Yep.
Hey,
By the way,
here's the thing, though. Regular season is different than playoffs. Ant literally said it himself, right? Everyone's like, "Oh, the Suns are going to sweep you. You're 2-12 since 2019 or whatever the number is." He's like, "Yeah, but this is playoffs,
Playoffs is
and look where we are." So, I know OKC's been playing well, but a young team with little playoff experience. I know some of them have the experience, I'm sure, but if they're as young as you're saying there's probably a lot of guys that don't have it. That can be a factor.
That's what everyone
especially
seems
when
to
you
be
get
saying.
really
Yeah.
stressed, right? Later in the series. So
Yeah, so,
we'll see.
and that's the thing with, right now they're playing the Pelicans, who don't have Zion Williamson. He got hurt right before the series, so
They're kind of crushing the Pelicans.
pretty
right
much,
now,
yeah.
right?
The first game was really close. It came down to the last shot, but they blew them out today, and they blew them out the other day. So that series is looking a little different. But I would like to lean in on the Timberwolves here for a little bit, and then I think we should wrap it up.
before we do, I got the answer to that question, and I know our listener is absolutely dying to find out the answer to that. Cole, can we get a one-handed drum roll, please?
Hold on.
He's putting it down.
Is it Mendota Heights?
It's Minnehaha.
Minnehaha! That's why I wanted to say Minnetonka.
Yep.
It's Minnehaha. Anyways, good for us Minnesotans. We got some boys in the league. Paige Becker's on her way to the WNBA. But I digress.
Joe Alt, shout out.
Huh?
Other sport, but still.
Okay. So yeah.
Yo, where are my Box Lacrosse fans at? Woo! Cheddarpot Nation, comment down below if you're a Box Lacrosse fan.
Please leave a comment, subscribe. So here's my breakdown of the Timberwolves right now as a lifelong fan of this team. This season has been the best season I've ever got to experience. I mean, I obviously was alive during 03-04, but I didn't really understand basketball like I do now. Of course, I was excited to watch KG play and win or lose, but I understand now. I understand. What are you guys shaking your heads about?
He burped.
Oh, I burped, but I pulled my the cover of the mic went away.
Keep moving.
Nice.
It's okay.
So this season has been just incredible, and I was kind of the mind, if we don't perform well in the playoffs, I'm still really happy with how the season went.
Yeah,
And
100%.
now we're up 3-0 against the Suns, and I'm sort of if we don't win it all, I might fucking kill myself. So that's where I'm at right now, because we look so good and against a team that we struggled against all season, and I just it shows the impact that the coaching is making, and how the players have bought into this
100%.
playoff run, and how the players have bought into each other, and they're playing for each other. They're playing for Mike Conley, they're playing for Cat, who's been a part of this franchise for 8 years. Just to he's made the play. This is his 4th time making the playoffs in total. 3rd time in the last 3 years. Shout out Chris Finch. So it's just they're playing for each other, and Ant's becomes such a great leader for someone who's so he defers the talent. He's Cat's the best player on our team. Cat's our guy. He's the best player. And it's sort of the stuff like that makes him our leader, and he is our best player. And he's just so humble, and we have all the elements, assuming everyone stays healthy. The defense of Jaden and Rudy and Nah and Ant and Mike Conley, everybody's stepping up. And if we stay healthy and we keep this up, there's no part of my brain anymore that thinks we're not a contender. I think we are legit.
100%.
And I think no matter if we sweep the Suns or not, whether they miraculously win two games in this, I think we got the series, and I think we move on to Denver being probably the scariest team that they're going to see for the whole of the playoffs, because we match up well.
Not
with
excited.
them. Yeah. So I'm hyped.
Balls
like,
Arena.
Vibes are just
How did
so
the-
good
how-
right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They really are, and no, that's a really great way of putting it. Geez, it's like I feel the same way. Usually I withhold my hope or like belief in Minnesota sports till like the clock is literally striking midnight. But with this team, something just seems different. There's just a confidence about them. They actually they believe they have the talent and the skill and the coaching and everything you just said to do what they need to do to win this whole thing. But they actually truly believe that they can do it too, which I think I can only imagine as a professional athlete, a lot of these guys, they actually, not only do they do physical training, but they do mental training. They'll go see psychotherapists. They do all this kind of stuff. But still, at the end of the day, if you're a player on a Minnesota sports team and you've heard how horribly unlucky and just, bad-willed our whole playoff experiences have been, and how we've never won a championship in or rather in a long time we haven't. It's so easy for that to get to you, and this team is just playing their Golden State dynasty. They've done this time and time again. They're just here and they belong to be here. It's really exciting.
It's awesome to see. You saw. I hate to mention the Vikings last year, how shitty that season went, but it's a next man up mentality. If you don't have
100%.
a guy. If your star player Ant isn't performing to what you're used to, you got a guy who's going to do that for him. Mm-hmm. It's awesome to see that. You got so many guys, and I talked about depth earlier. You got so many guys who just keep going off. It's wild. At least every single game, you got somebody who just blows your fucking mind.
That second game at home, Ant didn't have that great of a game. He played fine, but not that great. And it was our depth that stood up.
Jaden had a game high 25, and he's primarily
That
a
is
defender.
insane.
That's a
dude.
star. That's star numbers right there. 25 points. That's a star player or a top player. Dude, you.
At least
you
for
hit the nail on the
franchise,
head.
yeah.
It's
I mean,
so
dude,
exciting, man. It's
Well, if I can piggyback
It's a
on
good
that,
team.
we can, talk about last year and how tough it was without having Cat pretty much all season, and getting adjusted to how Rudy fits, and then we made a trade for Mike Connolly, so the offense changed, but even moving into the playoffs, we were looking good, and then Jaden broke his hand, Nas broke his wrist, Rudy fucking punched Kyle Anderson, got suspended for that Lakers playing game, and then we still had a really great series with Denver. We got a gentleman's sweep. We only won one game, but we were competitive every single game. Allegedly, according to some of their players, we gave them the hardest matchup of the playoffs. They eventually went on to win the championship. So
I did not hear
yeah,
that.
no, Bruce
awesome.
Brown said that, who's no longer on the team.
Wow.
But, was a huge part of them winning that championship. So with all that said, you look at us now.
I'm hyped now.
You look at us now with a year to grow, right? We had that whole offseason to grow and heal. And now we're in the playoffs with a strong mindset of a team that knows they can compete, and we're healthy. And the coaching staff is incredible in their season now, with this being their third time. So it's just, I think it's all been leading up to this. I don't think anyone other than maybe a good amount of Wolves fans thought we would be here looking like this. I mean, we're the third seed, but, it was separated by a game. We're one of the best teams in the NBA this year, and we look like it. And that's fucking awesome.
100%.
There's something to be said too. You're talking last year compared to this year, and there's something you can't really quantify, you can't really put into a stat, and that's flow and creativity and cohesiveness that a team develops and builds together. And like you just said, we brought in a lot of these pieces last year to find success, and they were trying to get there. They were working out kinks. They were figuring it out. But this, like we've said time and time again already on this pod here, this is a team that they make plays. It's like they've made that play a million times before. There's just this connectedness that they all share with one another. And of course it's belief. It's, faith in one another, but it's something that only time builds. And so I think, like you just said, this whole year has been huge for them. They found success, and they know that they can go the distance.
And, well,
so I'm really pumped.
I
man.
agree, and
it's pulled me back into basketball. I haven't watched basketball as much as I have recently in years and years and years and years.
And I'm pumped about that. I'm
And-
glad you have a reason to be excited about it
Call
again.
me fair weather. That's fine. But it's hard to watch it. It's hard to follow a sport when your home team is not very good at it.
course.
There's a reason, that I haven't really followed basketball for a little while because of that, but it's very exciting.
Well, yeah. I mean, to piggyback off that too, like teams that go through adversity, like we did last year, like you come out stronger from it or you fall apart, and we clearly came out stronger. So that's really good to see. Like last year was hard, and we're reaping the rewards for it this season.
100%.
Got a damn good team together, man. It's awesome. Really excited. And we play. So what time do we play tomorrow night?
Tomorrow
so
night, 8:30, Sunday night.
8:30.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
8:30.
Do we see a sweep? All right. So close her out, boys.
Yeah.
I've been saying,
Final score
let
predictions.
me answer that because I've been saying this from the fucking jump. And
Well-
blind confidence, what?
First off, are we gonna have this episode out by the time the game's on?
Well, we'll upload.
I guess it doesn't
tonight.
matter.
We can upload
I
it
think we
tonight.
get this
It
done
doesn't matter
tomorrow.
Either way.
All right, cool. Final score predictions for tomorrow, boys.
Final score. So I've got Wolves in 4. Wolves are winning tomorrow night. I'm 105-87. Another defensive showdown. Not showdown. Excuse me.
Nice.
Another defensive show out for the Timberwolves.
Okay.
Am I going to get eviscerated if I choose the Suns?
That's a
to
safe
win? 'Cause
pick.
They're at home.
It's a safe
I
pick.
feel like
You
they
don't
win
think
this
we
one.
can
fine.
sweep
No,
them?
it's
It's
fine.
fine.
It's
You
fine,
don't believe
but
in
you're
us.
gonna
It's
have to
totally
overhaul
fine.
immediately after this.
I believe we can, but I think it's kind of dull if we all choose them to
Well, tell us how you really feel. Don't pick
All right.
it based on
No, it's fine.
consistency. Tell us how you really feel.
No, you're right, Cheese. And based off their performance, I agree with you. I think we win 108-93. I think we win by 15.
Solid score.
And I think it's a pretty
Luka
good.
Garza minutes.
Yeah, pretty good defense. Oh, I think most importantly, pucks deep. And if we get pucks on that, I mean, it is going to be.
I had a feeling that was coming. Also, way to fucking back out of what you were about to do with the Suns winning.
All right, Suns 172-85.
Hey, fucking
Damn.
coward.
I saw that 90-point loss. Damn.
Goodness. All right. Obviously, I have the Wolves.
Yes, sir. Wolves in 4.
As long as we got,
probably
as long as
clips.
we got Air Crunch and Chomper,
in 4.
we're gonna do everything.
Has-
I mean, they're not there
Has
because
any major Minnesota sports team ever 4-game swept in a best of 7 series?
I just thought about that today. That's a
I
good
don't think that's
question.
ever
Probably
happened.
not. I mean,
Can you look it up?
Considering this is the first time, at least for the Wolves. That
I
we've
mean, the
ever
only
led
the only
3-0
team I
series,
could think of that potentially might have done it is the '87 Twins.
But back
Maybe.
then, I don't know. They only had
Like
either the World
We'll
Series or
look-
the.
we'll look it up
Yeah,
and
because
figure
they
it
didn't have a
out,
lot of
but-
7-game series before that.
Be pretty fun to finally have. I always feel like we're on the outside looking in with that. We're always the team that gets swept, or I'm always watching other teams sweep other
Yeah.
teams. We're never the one to do it. So
never us.
hopefully we get to do that.
It's
Okay,
our
fine.
turn
Well,
now.
Sorry, go ahead. Your prediction.
My prediction is all right. I got 112 Wolves to 109.
Ooh.
Oh, close game.
Penis
I like
size.
it.
That'll be fun.
Close one. It's gonna be a close one.
I'll be really
I think it'd be
anxious
fun to
if that
close out on a
happens.
close one, and I think it's not gonna be a buzzer beater or anything, but it's gonna be damn close.
Yeah, I could see
So,
it be like
I think that'll be
Suns
fun.
scraping to get back at the end, but they just can't.
Why can't I find an answer for this?
There's no way we've
This
ever
is
done it
crazy.
before.
I don't think
There's
it's ever
no way.
happened. A Minnesota sports team. Well, you know who might have done it? The North Stars on the run to the Cup that year.
Yeah, but
Well, if any team would have done it, it would have been them.
That's got a little asterisk. Oh, we don't even have that team anymore.
Well,
you
it's
know?
still a Minnesota sports team.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, we weren't even
yo,
alive
yo,
for it.
yo. You know what? I bet you
That's not the question.
I bet you anything.
Idiot.
No, I know
God
this for
damn
a
it.
fact. The Minneapolis Lakers have definitely won NBA championships 4 games to
Oh,
0.
sure.
I'm pretty sure, but that was like in the 50s. So I would say
No, I
it
like.
has not happened
Well,
currently.
so what's okay? Well, what's currently? So like a modern
Like,
team after the 50s.
Sure,
Like,
we can make up whatever rule we want.
during our the time our dads have been alive.
Man,
Then no.
I love the T-Pups. I love the T-Pups. I think they got a great aesthetic,
Yeah.
great mascot. Man, it feels very, very weird to have the Lakers not be the name of the 10,000 lakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make
It's a
sense
good
in
name,
Los
man.
Angeles.
I'll
No
be
one ever
honest.
thinks
The
about
Lakers?
that.
Lakers rolls off the Lakers.
Cheese and I both lived in LA.
love the
I lived there
Lakers,
for
man.
7 years, and there's like 2. There's like 2 lakes.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird, but
It's like Lake
it is what it
Balboa
is.
and fucking Castaic.
That's a business. So.
Yeah, whatever. They'll take
Yeah,
it.
very weird they
Okay.
didn't change the name, but lazy. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right, I think
right,
I
gentlemen.
think we should wrap this thing up, huh? Oh,
Yeah.
I hear outro music
Good
playing.
pod.
Oh, it's playing in my head as I'm editing
Nice.
it in. All right, well, for me, Cheese, my 2 co-hosts Cole and Clay, thank you guys for listening. We are Cheddarpot Nation.
Thanks,
Stay in the fuck up.
Oh.
Don't stand up, dude. You're
I
gonna
meant
rip that shit
metaphorically,
out.
Cole.
All right, Eiffel Tower one more time. Let's go.
I'm a part of it.
See ya.
Yeah. All right, bye, y'all.